When you picture Portugal, like actually picture it, what do you see? Probably Lisbon's yellow trams grinding up impossible hills. Maybe Porto's wine cellars stacked along the Douro River. Maybe the beaches of the Algarve, packed wall-to-wall every July. Or maybe you picture a subtropical island 700 kilometers closer to Africa than to mainland Europe, where volcanic cliffs drop straight into open Atlantic, where locals still walk centuries-old irrigation channels carved directly into cliff faces, or where one mountain ridge trail is considered one of the most dangerous and most beautiful hikes in Europe. Probably not. And here's the thing, this island just became the #1 trending destination on TripAdvisor's entire 2026 list, and the vast majority of international travelers still couldn't point to it on a map. Even people who visited mainland Portugal twice have never set foot here. Right now, in 2026, this is still genuinely, almost incomprehensibly overlooked for what it actually offers. Here's 4 things about Madeira that explain why it's suddenly everywhere, and why that's not going to last. Quick intro before we start. Welcome to Unlock the Earth, where we create videos around popular and the not-so-popular travel destinations to inspire your next trip. If you enjoy this video, please hit subscribe and feel free to explore the links in the description for great deals on travel insurance and other activities to completely level up your trip to Portugal. Now, this is Madeira. Let's explore what makes it so special. Start in Funchal, the capital, and you're standing in a city that fooled Christopher Columbus into staying twice. Funchal sits on Madeira's south coast, about an hour and 30 minutes by direct flight from Lisbon, shorter than flying Lisbon to the Azores. Columbus lived here in the 1480s, married a local governor's daughter, and came back years later just to visit, long before Madeira had any reputation at all. Walk into the Mercado dos Lavradores, the farmer's market, and you'll find fruit that doesn't grow anywhere else in Europe. Custard apples, passion fruit the size of a fist, bananas grown on volcanic soil that locals insist taste completely different from anything shipped to a mainland supermarket. And they're right. Above the market, in the Monte district, there's a tradition that survived since the 1850s, the carros de cesto, wicker toboggans, steered by 2 men in straw hats, sliding passengers down steep cobbled streets using nothing but gravity and rubber-soled boots as brakes. It sounds like a tourist gimmick until you're actually in one, dropping through narrow lanes at speeds that feel genuinely unsafe in the best possible way. You get a city older than most of the undiscovered places YouTube claims to find, genuinely lived in, not staged for visitors. And that's before you've even left the capital. Because 500 years before anyone tobogganed down these streets for fun, people here were doing something far more ambitious with gravity, moving water across an entire island. That system is still walkable today, and one route in particular, the Levada do Caldeirão Verde, is a walking trail that was never actually built for walking. It was built to move water. Levadas are Madeira's irrigation channels, a network over 2,000 kilometers long, carved into cliffs starting in the 1500s to carry water from the wet north side of the island to the dry farmland in the south. Locals still use them for irrigation today. Hikers just use the maintenance paths beside them. This particular route runs through the Lourenço, a laurel forest UNESCO classifies as one of the largest surviving remnants of a forest type that once covered all of southern Europe, before the last ice age wiped it out almost everywhere else. You walk through 25 hand-cut tunnels, some unlit, water running beside your feet the entire way, before the trail opens onto a waterfall dropping into a natural pool. Standing at that pool, after 2 hours of tunnel and forest walking, is a genuinely disorienting kind of quiet. No engine noise, no other trail groups, just water. Get Your Guide runs a guided version of this specific hike with a local operator who knows exactly which tunnels need a headlamp. Fully worth booking ahead, given how remote the trailhead actually is. Links below. And if walking through the clouds in a forest sounds good, wait until you're standing above them entirely. That's what happens on the Ridge Trail connecting Pico do Arieiro to Pico Ruivo, Madeira's highest point at just over 1,860 meters. The connecting trail is roughly 7 kilometers one way, cut directly along a knife edge with drops on both sides, frequently listed among Europe's most exposed day hikes, not because it's technical climbing, but because there's genuinely nowhere to look except down. What makes the exposure worth it is something locals call the Mar de Nuvens, the Sea of Clouds. Because Madeira sits in the Atlantic trade wind belt, cloud cover regularly forms below the ridgeline instead of above it. So on a clear morning, you're standing on solid rock, looking down at an unbroken white ocean of cloud, with other volcanic peaks poking through it like islands of their own. It's genuinely one of the more disorienting sights on the island. You're used to clouds being above you, and here they're beneath your boots. Locals recommend starting before sunrise, specifically to catch this before the afternoon burns it off. But if the ridge shows you Madeira at its greenest and most dramatic, the last stop shows you something you'd never guess belongs to the same island at all. That's Ponta de São Lourenço, the easternmost tip of Madeira, and the one part of the island that doesn't look like the rest of it in any way. Where the interior is green and volcanic, this peninsula is dry, red-brown, and almost lunar. Roughly 9 kilometers of exposed volcanic rock with cliffs on either side and almost no shade. It's a sharp contrast most visitors don't expect from a place marketed as a rainforest island. From the tip of that peninsula, small boats run out to the Ilhas Desertas, 3 uninhabited islands visible on the horizon that are home to one of the rarest marine mammals on the planet, the Mediterranean monk seal. There are believed to be fewer than 700 left in the wild, and this pocket of the Atlantic holds one of the largest breeding colonies anywhere. Kuluk lists a small boat tour out to the Desertas with a marine biologist guide, genuinely worth it if seeing one of the world's rarest seals in the wild is on your list at all, and the boats are small enough that it never feels like a cruise ship experience. Standing on that red rock, ocean on both sides, it's hard to reconcile that this is still the same island as the Laurel forest an hour earlier. That range, a lived-in capital, a 400-year-old forest trail, a ridge above the clouds, and a peninsula that looks like Mars, is really the whole argument for Madeira. 4 things, 1 island, a city that charmed Columbus twice, a water trail through an Ice Age forest, a ridge above the clouds, and a red peninsula next to the last stronghold of one of the rarest seals on Earth. All of it currently sitting at number 1 on TripAdvisor's trending list for 2026, while most people planning a Portugal trip still default to Lisbon and the Algarve without ever hearing Madeira mentioned. That gap between how good this actually is and how few people know it is exactly the kind of window that closes once a place gets discovered. Right now, it's still open. If you're planning this trip, the insurance and eSIM links are below, along with the 2 tours mentioned. And if you want the next hidden island on this channel, it's one where 90% of the land is still untouched jungle. Subscribe so you don't miss it.